everyone.
Perfect.
We're just so excited. We've actually been jamming behind the scenes, just getting pumped about these new AMD GPUs. The RX 7000 series have arrived, and we are here to give you guys all the details on everything. But Whitson, what's good, man? How you been? We just got back from Taiwan. We met each other IRL.
Yeah, I got a new sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of swag too, but I haven't
haven't
even properly unpacked. No, like,
oh dude, rookie mistake. Yeah, so we're here to show off some new cards today. So if you guys weren't watching the AMD stream just now, we can go through some of these details. But first, should we give them a peek at what we're launching?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's show some pictures. Today we are launching 2 cards, you guys. We have AMD announced the Radeon RX 7900 XTX and 7900 XT, and we are launching TUF variants for both of those cards. This is a little weird for us because there are no ROG cards to launch, and this is an ROG stream. But hey, we're going all TUF today. I can dig it. We should have rebranded the whole show, just like put a yellow filter on it all.
I considered it.
So, okay. Let's start by talking about the 7900 XTX, because this is a beast of a card, and it's really interesting because AMD announced that for the first time they are using a chiplet design on a GPU. So we've got a 5-nanometer graphics compute die with like 2nd-gen Infinity Cache, just awesome stuff going on there, and then we have a 6-nanometer memory cache die that's separate. Which allows just for more efficient usage of those chips across the board, much like AMD has been doing with their CPUs for the past few generations. This, they say, on the 7900 XTX, we've got 18% higher frequencies, 54% better performance per watt.
That's insane.
Which is awesome. And that leads to up to 1.7 times faster performance than the previous flagship at 4K. That's a pretty good boost in performance. We're talking, and when you include ray tracing, it's even better, because they're talking above 60 frames per second with ray tracing in 4K with FSR in Dying Light 2. And you and I both know Dying Light 2 is a tough game to run with everything.
It is demanding.
Because it looks incredible. Like there's a reason for it, right? But so above 60 frames per second with all of that stuff turned on is a dream. And then in other games, it's even higher. They're showing like above 90 frames per second in Hitman 3 with ray tracing and FSR at 4K, which is awesome. These cards are designed for, as they say, 4K and beyond. They even showed off a little, some nuggets of 8K performance, which is good because we've got 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM on a 384-bit memory interface on this card. So this card is ready for high resolution, high refresh, high details, ray traced gaming. Coming soon to an e-tailer near you. They're talking about a December launch for these cards.
December launch, and they're touting some really good prices. So
yes, we don't have pricing to offer our particular variants yet, but you can kind of deduce what the ballpark will be if you look at AMD's pricing. We've got a lot of good features on RDNA 3.2. We've got AV1 encoding, which is great if you are a streamer or content creator.
Can't wait.
FSR 3 is on the way. Right now we have FSR, Fidelity FX Super Resolution. That's AMD's temporal upscaling technology. That's in 216 games right now. And they say FSR 3 is going to double the FPS versus FSR 2. So just another way to get even more frames at high resolution with ray tracing and all that stuff enabled. You also have, what I really like with AMD is you have RSR, which is similar to older versions of FSR at the driver level. So if a game doesn't have FSR baked in, you can turn on Radeon Super Resolution at the driver level, and it's not quite as advanced as the latest versions of FSR, but it'll upscale that game for you. Any game you can think of, even if it doesn't have FSR built in. You've got Smart Access Memory if you have an AMD CPU, and we've got some upcoming features like Hyper RX and Smart Access Video for the CPU and GPU tag teaming video encoding. So there's a lot of exciting features coming out with this alongside that high-end performance. I know Jake is excited about AV1 encoding just across the board.
Yeah, we just need it on Twitch and YouTube.
On Twitch side, yeah. I'm ready for 1440p 120 frames per second streaming. Let's do it. Come on.
I keep reading more articles about it. These companies are talking about it. Everybody in their announcements are talking about it. We've been hearing about it since 2019. Just give it to us. Just give it to us. But
so let's talk about the TUF variant of this card.
Okay.
Because it's the best. So the tough build on this, you guys have probably seen a little bit of this before. This is similar to what we have released recently. We've got a rigid die cast frame with an aluminum backplate and an aluminum shroud. This is a big boy. It's a 3.63 slot card, and it's about 352.9 millimeters long. Not 353 millimeters, 352.9 millimeters long.
Perfect.
It's a big boy.
It's huge.
We've got a GPU holder included in the box. Let me tell you guys, these cards, the GPU holder is really nice because these cards are so solid that for the first time, I think, in many years, I actually feel like it helps.
Pretty much a requirement. We've held some of these GPUs, and they are, once you get your hands on it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put a bracket on it.
But it just feels so like quality. Like that's what I love about that. Like that metal backplate and frame. It's just, it doesn't feel like a cheap card. It feels like you really got your money's worth with it, and it's great for the cooling. You got a real thick heatsink on this bad boy. You can see in these pictures, the heatsink just spans the whole width of the card. You've got a widened backplate vent. I don't think we have a picture of that here, but the backplate vent on the back is even wider, which increases heat dissipation by like 22%. Plus, you've got an expanded opening along kind of the edge of the card there behind that third fan, which helps increase that airflow too. So you've got a lot of really great airflow on this, especially because we have larger versions of our Axial Tech fans, which are providing 13.8% more airflow and 8% more static pressure compared to the previous gen versions of these fans, which means you can run them at lower RPMs and just get really excellent cooling out of that vented backplate. We have a dual BIOS switch, as usual, with the P and Q modes if you want maximum power or you want something a little bit quieter. Jake's a P mode man. I'm a Q mode man.
Yep, I'm all about performance. Give me all the juice. You want your fan speed to be lower? That's fine. That's why the switch is there.
I really want everything to be quiet. That's why I undervolt everything in my system, turn the fans down.
I don't know a single user that actively like switches these on and off like day to day, but the feature is there to do that.
I don't think it's really designed to be switched on and off day to day. I think it's just like a preference thing as you're installing it. Like, do I want, like where do I want my baseline to be? But then you can also, like, if you want to tweak it day to day, you don't reach in and flip the switch. You can download our GPU Tweak 3 software and manually tune things in there. We've got an OC mode in there. You can tune the fan curves yourselves. You can turn the power usage up or down to kind of meet your performance to noise specifications and things like that. Speaking of OC, we also are going to have an OC edition of these cards available if you want to just eke out a little bit more of those clock speeds, which I always do. Always buy the OC edition. HDMI 2.1 port on the back and 3 display 2.1 ports. Next gen connectivity. Who is texting me? Stop making noise. I'm on stream.
They were talking up to 900 hertz displays. So these are really just future-proof GPUs because those displays don't exist yet.
Not yet.
But, we're looking at this next generation pushing over 500.
Yep, we've already announced 500 hertz. So
we were, 360 was unveiled like 3 years ago, I think. So we're kind of pushing the boundaries always with those displays, and I think it is worth being excited about looking towards the future and these cards lasting you many years to come.
Yeah, and I think that was it. I think they said 900 frames per second or 900 hertz at like 1440p. So I think the real benefit of port 2.1 is also at higher resolutions, right? You're talking higher frame rates at 4K, higher frame rates at 8K, because they did tease that 8K monitors will be coming soon. Nothing to announce here yet, but stay tuned.
It's inevitable.
Right. One day it'll be 12K. Again, not in the pictures here, but this uses 3 8-pin power connectors. So you can use, as long as your power supply has a high enough wattage, you can use your existing PSU, no adapter required. You just plug it in and go. Speaking of recommended wattage, we're looking at 850 watts recommended for the 7900 XTX. So if you do need a power supply because you're still running 750 watts like I was until a couple days ago, I would definitely look at our upcoming TUF Gold power supplies. Those are going to be really great, and they're on the way very, very soon. But again, you can use anything you want, including all the power supplies we have out now, like the ROG Thor or the ROG Strix Gold power supplies, those will also do you well. If you're using a higher end CPU, I might scale up that power supply just a little bit.
Yeah,
But it depends
that's
on what
how I do. I always push a little higher, but
I
that's
mean, the
just
higher
me.
you go, you got more efficiency, you've got lower fan noise from the power supply. There are a lot of other benefits, and you're set for the future. A good power supply can last you multiple builds if you kind of think about the future a little bit.
I
So
had a power supply that lasted me like 8 years. I think that's
yeah,
as
I mean,
about as much as you can ever ask for.
our power supplies now come with a 10-year warranty because
That's
they are
awesome.
designed to really last. Yeah, it is awesome. So that's again, if you're thinking about buying a power supply for your new build,
Yeah. Somebody's saying, what about the Loki? Yeah, the Loki would be a good choice as well.
Loki would also be a good choice if you can fit this bad boy in a small form factor build. The Loki would be a great choice because the Loki's a platinum power supply that goes up to like 1,000 watts. So yeah, it's
It's
awesome.
small.
It's still on the way.
We saw it for the first time, and we were just in
We
Taiwan,
did.
like I said, and like actually the Loki is impressive in such a small body.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't always tell in renders because
It just looks like a
it
power
just
supply.
looks like a
Yeah, you
power
just
supply. But then
assume,
when you see
yeah.
it in person, you're like, oh, small boy. It's so cute.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But it's a beast on the inside. That's what's awesome about it. So, all right. We also have the TUF Gaming Radeon RX 7900 XT. AMD kind of touched on this card a little bit too. This one's going to have 20 gigabytes of GDDR6 VRAM on a 320-bit memory interface. The build is mostly the same as the XT variant, same size, same die-cast frame, same RGB lighting on the side there. You're getting all the good stuff. The thermal performance of the 7900 XT is pretty impressive too. We can't release the TGP. We don't have TGP numbers to give out just yet.
Soon.
Although you can, use the information I gave about the 3 8-pin power connectors and the 850-watt power supply to get in the ballpark if you want to do that math in your head. But we tested the 7900 XT at the same board power as the last generation RX 6900 XT, just to get a comparison for apples to apples. And at that same board power, this card runs cooler under load with similar noise levels and obviously more performance. So with the 7900 XT, we're looking at a 750-watt recommended power supply. And again, TUF Gold is a great option, as well as a lot of our ROG Strix current and upcoming options. We have a few power supplies on the horizon that we've announced. So if you're not building just yet, keep an eye out for those very soon. But the models that we have out right now will also do really well. No adapters required. Again, we're going to have an OC edition for this card as well. More information about clock speeds and such coming soon. And that is our current RX 7000 series lineup. Nothing to announce on the ROG side yet. Nothing to announce on
There's
the
been a million
School side
questions.
yet.
Where's the Strix? Where's the Strix? This is what we have now. That's all we can say.
Yep, that's all we can say so far. You know me. I'm a Strix fan too, but we'll see what happens. These cards. I mean, the TUF cards are always really good. You talk. AMD was talking about their version is, I think, like 2.5 slots, and ours is a little bit bigger than that, 3.6 slots. So this is why I love buying the TUF and Strix cards, because that extra almost entire 1.1 slots worth of heatsink really does a lot for cooling and noise, as we talked about earlier.
I think we're going to see some pretty impressive numbers when it comes to the thermals on these cards, and obviously we'll have some more information to actually share with that in the very near future. But I think our GPUs speak for themselves in performance.
Yep, performance and that noise is what I'm always after. And that extra heatsink, like we've talked about this before, right? That extra size allows you to open up GPU tweak and just crank that power limit up and see how much higher the card can boost without the thermal limits of a smaller heatsink. So I'm pretty excited to not just see what these cards perform like out of the box, but what you can do with them once you really start tuning and OCing. So that's going to be really interesting to check out. Again, these cards are going to be, again, these are available in December. So keep an eye out. We do have a link in the video description if you want to read more about them. I don't have the links to the product pages just yet, but I will put those in the description as well for those of you who are watching this after the fact. And you can go check out all the details for yourself. Actually, we can put it in chat too. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, dropping it in both Twitch and
You got it. Where you got it. Where's the Asus X Noctua all black version? That would be sick. That would be.
I want it.
But would it?
We've done
like,
those collabs before.
But we've never done all black Noctua. That would be. Is it
No.
really Noctua if it's not brown? Like,
I have my CPU cooler right now is the Noctua Chroma Black. I love it.
I know the Chroma Black is.
It's so cool.
Gorgeous.
Like, it's such a beautiful, just big giant black piece of metal.
I know.
Cooling my CPU, and I'm all for it. But
I upgraded to an ROG AIO, and I love it. It looks so good, and it actually was cooler than even my big honking heatsink.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm getting cooler temperatures on the CPU, which is just lovely.
Yeah, I'm getting the Rio 2 very soon.
Oh, that'll be fun to show off. Guys, we have a lot of cool streams showing stuff off. Jake is building a new PC.
Yep, in like 2 or 3 weeks. So make sure you guys are following here on Twitch and YouTube because we are doing a live PC build. You just did one recently.
I just did one. I just did an all AMD one. Unfortunately, we didn't have this AMD graphics card to put in. I know. But that would have been cool. Yeah, we did a Ryzen 7000 build, so go back into the archives and check that out for sure.
Yeah.
We did some overclocking on the Ryzen 7000 too. So if you're going for an all AMD build, we've got you covered. Jake is going to do a build on stream. Your parts are coming in. We're waiting, and we'll do some OCing on stream too. So give us a follow. Join our Discord.
Yep.
I'm gonna get the Discord link in chat for more info.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just look forward to more info soon. Obviously, like the pricing and stuff, that's usually a little bit after our launch day. We kind of have our initial like, hey, this is our product. Then we get some more performance data a little bit later, and then pricing usually is either at the same time as the performance data or a little bit staggered after that. We don't even know that information personally. We're just the messengers, right? We don't know that information. And there's a very good chance that we even go live again and like dive into these GPUs and talk a little bit more about the actual performance, the pricing, and all of that in a future show. But we just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek as to what we're working on here. These are the new Radeon RX 7000 TUF Gaming GPUs. And Whitson, I think this is like the shortest pulse ever because we're just kind of like jumping in like, yo, hey guys, we got some sweet GPUs.
No tech news or no gaming news today. No Jake and Whitson messing around. We just had to show off these new cards as soon as AMD announced them and allowed us to show them off. So here they are, guys. Get ready. December.
December. So soon. It's already November. The year is almost over.
I know. It's happening too quickly.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Whitson, GG's, my friend.
GG's.
Till next time.